Parents, when was the moment you saw your child's spirit break? When my daughter Autumn turned 8, she was diagnosed with selective mutism. She could physically speak, but her anxiety was so severe she'd completely shut down around other people. I watched as her world became smaller and smaller. Her teachers suggested therapy, but my husband Roger believed it was just a phase. She'll grow out of it, he'd say, scrolling through his phone while Autumn sat silently at dinner. My sister was shy too. But this wasn't shyness. Autumn would write pages in her diary about wanting to speak, about the words getting stuck in her throat like honey. She'd practice talking to her stuffed animals when she thought no one was listening. I found a specialist who worked specifically with selective mutism. The sessions weren't covered by insurance, but I picked up evening shifts at the hospital to pay for them. For 6 months, I watched Autumn slowly progress from nodding to whispering to speaking short sentences with her therapist. Then Roger lost his job. He blamed it on the economy, but I'd seen the empty whiskey bottles in his car. The therapy had to stop. "She's talking now, isn't she?" He'd slur. Problem solved. But without support, Autumn regressed. She stopped speaking at school entirely. Her only friend moved away. The other kids started calling her Zombie Girl because she never responded. I begged Roger to let me restart her therapy. He refused, saying we couldn't afford it. Yet somehow he found money for a new gaming system, for fantasy football, for nights out with his buddies. The breaking point came during Autumn's school play. She'd been practicing for weeks with her speech therapist, determined to say her one line, "The moon is beautiful tonight." She'd whisper it to me every night before bed, getting stronger each time. The night of the play, Roger didn't show up. He was at a bar watching the game. Autumn stood on stage, frozen, staring at his empty seat. When her cue came, no sound escaped her lips. She started trembling, then ran off stage. I found her curled up in the bathroom, hyperventilating. Between gasps, she choked out, "Why doesn't Daddy want to hear me speak?" That night, I packed our bags while Roger was passed out on the couch. We moved in with my sister 3 states away. I enrolled Autumn in a special program for kids with anxiety disorders. Roger didn't try to find us for 2 months. When he finally called, he was drunk, demanding to know where his daughter was. I told him she was finally speaking, full sentences, even laughing with new friends. He started crying, saying he'd changed, that he missed hearing her voice. "That's the thing," I said. "You never stayed quiet long enough to hear it in the first place." Last week, Autumn had her first sleepover. I heard her chatting and giggling with her friends through the bedroom wall. When I went to check on them, she was telling them a story, her voice strong and clear. Yesterday, she asked me to help her write a letter to her old speech therapist. She wants to be one when she grows up.